Welcome to another episode of Beyond Cheers, Detective Gomez Files. I'm your host, Detective Gomez. Today we are talking about pissing somebody off, road rage, attacking somebody, violence on the street, attacking somebody on the street. We'll talk about that today a little bit. On New Year's Eve, there's an actor by the name of Ian Ziering. He's a popular actor on the show called 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐩𝐿. Very popular in the 90s. He and his daughter, 10-year-old daughter, were going down Hollywood Boulevard and got into an altercation with a group of bikers that were on like mini bikes or like small bikes. And it's like, I think it's like 5, 6, 7 of them riding together. And he got in some kind of altercation with them. They got off their bikes and attacked him in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard. Now, if you've ever been to Hollywood, well, that's the place to go if you want to see celebrities and things like that. And, Ian here, he's a celebrity. He's been, been in quite a couple of different movies and TV shows. They are attacking him in the middle of the street. In the middle of the street, they're attacking him. I'm looking at photos right now where he's fighting off like 4 people at one time. There's part where he gets out of his car and he confronts 2 of them. And I'm sure there's words being said, hey, mofo, hey this, hey that, and all these type of things. And it, got to a point where everybody, looks like everybody on these little motorcycles got off and attacked him. Right now it looks like he's fighting off 4 or 5 people. And I've got a problem with that, first of all, because there's a woman here involved. But Hollywood Boulevard is very, very busy. This is clear daylight on New Year's Eve in Hollywood. And nobody's helping him. Nobody's helping. Nobody's trying to help him get out of that situation. Everybody's just watching and pulling out their phones and recording. And it's sad because that's where our society is now. It's more about pulling out a phone and recording than trying to help somebody. Now, I don't know what led up to this altercation, but Ian did, was upset. And of course, he had a couple of things that he wanted to say because the situation highlights a larger issue of hooliganism on our streets and the need for effective law enforcement responses to such behavior. And he's obviously upset about this. And he continues to say also that as a citizen and a parent, I find it unacceptable that groups can freely engage in this kind of behavior, causing fear and chaos, while the response from the authorities seems to be insufficient. It's basically saying that the cops aren't going to show up. They're not going to be there when something goes down. So if you're a person that can't, we don't know what caused this, but I'm going to just give you some hypothetical scenarios. Maybe he was texting and driving. Maybe he was talking to his daughter. But these people were out to hurt somebody. They pulled their helmets off and they were swinging at him in the car, and fist fighting. Who's to say they didn't have a bat? Who's to say they didn't have a gun? But was it worth it to put your daughter in danger like that? He could have just stayed in his car and driven off. He could have just done that. But whatever happened, happened. But you got to look at it from both sides. If you're going to put yourself in a situation and you're going to get out and confront somebody, then you got to, 5 people, 7 people there. Is it worth it in the end? And then if you're the guys on the mini bikes and you assault somebody and you go to jail for it and you bash his head in with your helmet, is it worth going to jail or prison for the rest of your life? Is it worth it in the end? It's all these things you got to think about. Once you take control of a vehicle or a motorcycle, when you're on the road, you got to be careful. You got to be careful where you're driving, what you're doing while you're driving, who you're talking with. If you got someone that's, making too much noise or something like that, tell them to settle down and focus on your driving. When you do see videos now, people taking over the roads, the bikers and people on bicycles and cars and things like that. But, things happen where you've got to, kind of adjust to it or pull off the road and just let them go by and keep going. But you can't take it personal. Once you take it personal, then you're using your vehicle as something personal, whether it's a motorcycle or a car. And you got to think about those things. You got to think about lives. Every life is worth something. Don't jeopardize your life or your daughter's life. She's 10 years old. She needs to see her dad getting beat up like that. It's on Hollywood Boulevard. This guy's getting beat up like I just can't. I'm looking at the pictures now. It's just sad to see this. Just amazing that nobody. There's no security on Hollywood Boulevard anywhere. No security officers, anybody, no police or anything. Nobody out there working that can go out there. Well, they said the police ended up showing up and did end up filing a report, but they're going to try to find them, and hopefully they do. But you got to think about these things in the end. Is it worth it? Is it worth it jeopardizing yourself, your life, or somebody else's life out there for somebody possibly getting into your lane or honking at you or something like that? Is it worth it in the end? That's what you got to ask yourself. it's worth it, then do it. Go for it if you got, you know, time to be in jail and things like that. But if you don't, just pull off on the side of the road or just ignore it and keep going. It happened to me once, not too long ago. I kind of cut off somebody, jumped on the back of my vehicle, didn't jump on the vehicle, but pulled up behind me, started flashing his lights, honking his horn. I just let him drive by. I didn't interact with him and make the situation worse. Just let him go. Okay. But if you decide to interact and engage that situation, then, you know, the best of luck to you. All right. Be careful driving out there. I'm Detective Gomez. Thank you for listening today to Beyond Cheers, the Detective Gomez Files. And of course, you know, we always want to thank our sponsor, Attorney Juan Hernandez. Visit him at juanlaw.com. He's helped me in a car accident before. He's a PI attorney. He can help you also. Contact him at 214-900-0000. And of course, at the end of the day, you can always visit me at detectivegomez.com. And I can help you in any kind of investigation services. All right. Take care. Have a wonderful new year. And I'll see you next time on Beyond Cheaters, the Detective Gomez. Adios.